Javed, and it's honor to have Mr. Waqas Khan with me, the founder and CEO of Careerz. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
And thank you so much for making time for us.
You are welcome.
And shall we start?
Absolutely.
Okay. So tell us about yourself and specifically why you chose IT field as well as your journey from this small business to this much developed business.
First of all, thank you so much for the opportunity. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I actually hail from Multan, so Saraiki background hai mera. I am into IT field for almost 19 years now, and my journey started when I got into education of computer sciences. That was way back in 1994. So from 94 to 96, then 96 to 99, I was in 96 to 99, I was here in Lahore, studying, and then after that, I took up software engineering and information technology field. But my business journey, started in 2010. That's when, I came back to Pakistan, and I started this business, Dev Batch. और डेव बैच जो है slowly and gradually has been growing और आज तकरीबन उसे 7 साल हो गए and from team of almost one person to actually that was not a team, from an individual to a team of about 60 plus people here and some in our US office as well. So that's pretty much summary of the progress the journey as you asked me so this is how we started.
What do you think main challenge information technology is facing today?
Well, there are, I would first want to talk about opportunities. There are big opportunities available so when you see opportunities which are available to us today, how do you tap into that? I think the biggest challenges are from that point of view, that are we taking taking care of or or enabling ourselves in the best possible ways towards the opportunities which are in front of us. Okay, and it's an era of information technology. 5 biggest companies in the world right now are all information technologies companies, right? So that's primarily the reason that everybody is so excited about technology, right? So how can Pakistan and Pakistani companies contribute more towards the journey or the direction which the whole world is taking right now? I think that's the challenge right now. That's the biggest challenge. And how industry has to collaborate together, how the government has to create kind of the system, okay, that enables us that we perform to the best possible levels which are available to us. So that's for me is the biggest opportunity or biggest challenge. And but it's things are in positive direction, and I'm very hopeful the next months and years will be much more brighter inshallah.
Okay, so you have launched newly process Lego data science process. So how it is beneficial for your organization?
See, as I said, we started about 7 years ago. At that point of time, we started as a typical software consulting company, a software house, where you have few software engineers and project managers, and then you are doing few web-based PHP, .NET kind of projects. Then that journey continued. This is where we continued bringing in more into it in terms of we started developing mobile apps. We started bringing into it digital marketing services. Then we this was pretty much about it, solutions and services. Then there was a need that we felt almost 4 years ago that we have to diversify. 4 years ago, we purposefully came up or started thinking about the strategy of how we can diversify, and diversify within the area of information technology itself, because this is what we are good at. So what happened is at that point of time, there were multiple ideas. Okay, before Virgo, actually, we started our game studio. Okay, that's an actually another game studio, another sub company, subsidiary, like, you know, within dev batch, now I call it group. Like, you know, we have OXO apps, like, you know, which is our game studio that has almost 190 games, almost 200 games, like, you know, running successfully on that. Okay. And just to share, like, you know, this year, in fact, in Ramadan, I was in Singapore meeting, like, you know, at Google office, and they said that we are, like, you know, our OXO apps is actually among top 10 developers of Pakistan. So that has been kind of like, you know, a good milestone for us. Then, like, you know, it was what more we are going to do, like, you know, so that that quest continued, right? And so, like, almost mid of last year, it was that what are the technologies that we need to focus on. Okay, so data sciences is the future right now. Data sciences, like, you know, compromises or like, you know, consists on, like, you know, so many things like machine learning, artificial intelligence, natural language processing, big data, like, you know, all of this, like, you know, comes into that, and that's the future. Like, you know, if you go and actually see research a bit more about, like, you know, industry, you will see, like, there are autonomous cars available, right? That's big data sciences, right? People are, like, you know, creating robots, like, you know, people are creating smart devices. All of this is actually data sciences. Okay, so actually the whole world is moving in that direction as far as technology is concerned. That's why, like, you know, there was no rocket science in this one for us to take a leap into it. So that's why we started. Now I am focusing on creating the best team, like, you know, of data sciences, I would say in whole Asia right now. That's the purpose, like, you know, so we are, like, you know, very ambitious. We have started, like, you know, on a very good note. We have some very good advisors who are, like, you know, very accomplished and successful, and hoping that, like, you know, using their, like, you know, presence in our team, we can, like, you know, go big, inshallah.
Okay, sir, as you mentioned, artificial learning and artificial intelligence,
Yeah.
and another one is machine learning.
Yeah.
Can you please brief these two things?
Yeah. Well, I'm not a technical expert. I'm more of a businessman.
Yeah.
So what I'll do is I'll try to, like, you know, explain to what I understand. Artificial intelligence is basically, like, you know, you create a system that learns itself. Okay. So then, like, you know, that creates that's better than the normal software that you write, right? It's more like it's learning itself, right? It's like, you know, improvising itself. Like, you know, if it is looking at one place, like, you know, the software is given few pictures, like, you know, and it sees and it processes something, then, like, you know, there is an engine in the back, like, you know, that trains itself. Okay, so next time if it's looking at the same thing, it's looking at, like, you know, from a different perspective with more, like, you know, data which was part of it. So machine learning is exactly the same, and machine learning is and artificial intelligence, these both actually are right now the most popular products of them are the self-driving cars, for example. So this is what is going on.
And so what challenges you face by recruiting right person for right place?
Right person, this is a very tricky thing, like, you know, and we are primarily a services company. Okay, so services companies' biggest challenge is having best team, because if you don't have good people, like, you know, then it's very difficult for you to even sustain, like, you know, growing is a different thing. So it's a challenge definitely to have right people on your team. First of all, like, you know, attracting them so that, like, you know, they come to you, and especially when we were very small, like, you know, when we were like one person, like, you know, when we were like 10 person, like, you know, when we were like 20 people. So you cannot actually attract, like, people who are very qualified, very experienced, like, you know, so that's the challenge, like, you know, but then that's the journey. When this happens, like, you know, that actually becomes responsibility of leader, like, you know, of that particular organization. In this case, myself, like, you know, I have to go and convince people.
Okay.
Like, you know, with my experience, like, you know, my knowledge, and my most important, my vision, because people come for vision as much as they come for a good handsome salary package. Okay, so, like, you know, if they agree with my vision, then I have a better chance that I will be able to attract good people.
And sir, how you reward their good performance?
Rewarding good performance is my belief for rewarding good performance is slightly different. Like, my belief is give them more opportunities. Okay. Definitely people love to have more kind of cash incentives, holidays, maybe a very good office, like Google, like these kind of things. But at the end of it, what's most important for anybody who is working in any organization is that if you enter the door and you exit it, say after 1 year, have you been or have you become an improved professional or not? Okay, if you are at a place which gives you free lunches and gives you 3 months of off, but at the end of it you become rusty after 1 year and you don't even have your skills at the same level where you entered it, that's something which you are not helping the resources with. So Richard Branson actually has this famous quotation where that you train your people so well that they don't have the things left to be done in your company, but then you treat them so well that they hate to leave you. So this is exactly what it is. You actually train them, you give them so many opportunities of growth that they become better professionals. So they stay with you is best because you are treating them well. Or if they don't, you have done your best for them.
Oh.
This is how I see it.
Then, sir, how do you enjoy your free time?
My free time is actually it's about passion. What's the passion in my life? Okay, my passion in my life is driven from the mission statement that I have for myself as well as for my company. Okay, which is to be the positive difference. Be the positive difference means whenever I am doing something, whenever I am interacting with somebody, I have to ensure that I leave a positive impact in whatever way I can. So that means I have to do a lot of building of my own skills and improving things, so that I can then add value, and actually also doing a lot of retrospection as well, which means what I was doing is it the best thing that I should have. So my free time is mostly spent in learning more and more. That's one thing I say, means till the day I die, I would every day read something, and this is what I do right now. And so this is pretty much about it. So my priority is number one priority is my family. So if they tell me don't go to office, I don't come. Okay, so then the second is my own self. I want to live a healthy lifestyle. We were talking a little while ago, I have transformed myself. I was obese. I think reduced 20 kilograms in very short period. So because I believe that this is my body, I have to live by my rules rather than I have to live by rules of my body. Okay, so this is pretty much about it.
That's pretty nice. Okay, sir, have you heard about Careerz360 before?
Yes, absolutely. And Careerz360 is, I think, a wonderful tool, and you guys are doing very well. I am sure the way the kind of I have been interacting with your management, and obviously you guys are here today and I can see that there will be a big positive change in the industry with the tools, with the services, with the kind of marketing that you're bringing on board. So yeah.
Okay, so ending up this session, what would you like to advise the young generation?
Believe in yourselves. In fact, day before yesterday, I wrote I write a lot. Okay, especially on Facebook and LinkedIn. So I have quite a bit of following over there as well. As I said, I come from a very you may call it a backward background. I remember the day when I was very young, maybe 5 years old, and me, my mother and my dadi were traveling on the back of a camel actually, and that slipped and uski tang toot gayi wahan pe, and we were not able to travel after that. So that was the age where I come from. and today, like, I keep on traveling the world and actually see, like, what is going on and how we can, like, create an impact that can help people around the world, not just in my city. So this journey was not a straightforward journey as it looks. Like, I failed in every class, like, from my 5th level to 9th level. Okay, but then, like, came a stage where I wrote, as I said, like, that mother of my friend told my friend, like, that you should not spend time with this boy because you will be spoiling yourself. But things changed. I got into computer science. In computer science, like, that was something, as I found, like, love at first sight. Like, that's how, like, I got, like, into it. And within the first year, like, of my FSC, that was ICS, actually, Intermediate Computer Science, 94 to 96, first batch in the whole Pakistan, actually. I was lucky I found that opportunity. First year, principal, after the final exam, principal called my father, like, telling him that these sons like Waqas are born to lucky people. Okay, so transformation like this has, like, a lot of lessons in it. Like, I did not do much, but I was lucky to be at different places. So you have to believe in people. Okay, you have to continue believing in people. It's the situation, like, that changes, and then people all of a sudden who were villains becomes like good people. So that's the only message for everybody. Have patience, like, believe in yourself, like, continue doing your basics correctly. Your time will come. And then, like, second part, which I'm a big believer, like, the famous, like, boxer Muhammad Ali is believe in that you are the best. I also, like, have written a piece which was I would, like, practice my victory speech every day, because if I don't believe in my victory, who else will? Okay, so this is exactly, like, what your ambition should be for going forward.
Thank you so much, sir.
You are
It was
most
nice
welcome.
talking to you.
Same here.
Thank you so much for your time. And
Best of luck to you, Ji. Best of luck.